Yo, what is up, guys? This is the Phantom Armor coming to you guys with a, I know you see a Traptrix, but this is a new, new Geargia deck profile, and I don't know, I kind of like this new list. It's more flexible than the last list, plus it can easily counter the meta, so this would definitely be a pretty strong choice for, I don't know, events, I don't know, probably Monarchs is probably better, but I don't know, I think this deck is still pretty cool. And if you go first against Monarchs, you're most likely going to be doing pretty well, because most of your deck's good against Monarchs. So, our main bad matchup is Monarchs and Cosmo. However, we have tons of ways to beat that deck, and we main some ways. So, yeah, let's get right into it. We're playing 3 Mermello. So I opted back into the Traptrix list. So I was playing the Machina list, but the Machina list was only good against Monarchs, and you lose against practically everything else, except for Draco Pels. But otherwise, like, this list is probably much better with Mermello, because Mermello gets you to a way to stop your opponent's next turn plays. Obviously, like, going second, this card isn't as good. Against Monarchs, it is still pretty good, but against Draco Pals, it's not so good. But that deck's not really a thing anymore. So either way, that's there. One Diania is kind of just sack draw. Also, it just adds more power plays to the deck, and that's why I think it's good. So, those 4. I don't want to play 2 Diania, just because I know it would clog, and I think just 1 is okay. But, like, Diania is still really good, because it can, like, clear both scales as one card. Triple Armor, still really good. Triple Arsenal, also still really good. Triple Accelerator, still also really good. You know, those 9, all standard. We're playing triple MK2 and then 1 Yugioh. And we're not playing anything past that. The new ban list really didn't affect this deck. I was only playing 1 Norden to begin with. So yeah. Nothing really changed. Anyways, so yeah, that's the monster lineup. It's what, like 13, 17 monsters. Pretty solid. Due to a 2 Instant Fusion, 1 Twin Twister. Twin Twister is not as necessary now that, what is it called? Draco Pals is no longer really a deck. I think it's still going to be played in my locals, but either way, I think like just 1 Twin Twister is fine. You could try to find space for 2, but I think just 1 is pretty solid. And also, there isn't that much space in this room, in this deck. So yeah, I think it's 18 monsters actually. You know what? That's kind of off topic, but you know, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 9, 13, yeah, it's okay. So moving on to the traps, we're playing 3, of course, Gear. If you draw this card, like you feel like you're gonna win. It's just so good. Triple Fiendish Chain, probably should be strikes, but you know I have Fiendish Chain. Plus this card is like more flexible, so triple Call with the Traptrix engine. Even if we dead draw Diania, you can still summon it back off Call of the Haunted to get its like recursion effect. Which is really good. And like when you play the Traptrix engine, you get like tons of good Call of the Haunted targets. So 3 is never bad. I'm maining 2 Dark Imprisoning Mirror or Shadow Imprisoning Mirrors. So I'm going to explain this briefly. So the point of maining 2 of these is like it's pretty much good against everything. So it's pretty good against Monarchs because they can't resolve Idea because they have to summon Eidos. They can't use Erebus. What else? They can't recur with Erebus. They can't banish with Eidos. They can't Mega Kaisu. There's a lot of things they really can't do. Against Cosmo, they can't Dark Destroyer you, which is the main problem for this deck. If they summon Dark Destroyer, it's not going to do anything. They can't use one of their small pilots, what is called Wicked Witch, which normally they play 2 to 3 copies of. Which is also, like, this card's pretty good against that. It's, like, pretty much good against everything, and then against BA and or Phantom Knights, or a mix of the 2, this card just savages all over them. Because if you play a mix of the 2, half of your mills are not going to be BA, so essentially, like, your deck's worse because Dante's not going to do as much, and you can't just keep loading into Dante's because half your deck isn't BA. So yeah, and then against Phantom Knights, it's just win. Like this is a win condition, because they need their effects more than BA need their effects. So yeah, and then we also play double Starlight Road to stop our opponent from killing our Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. I just noticed I actually forgot to put Stardust in this extra deck. So oops. So double Starlight Road either way, and that's why this card's good. Anyways, double Mirror Force. This card's also pretty good because it's Mirror Force. And then finally the 4 Trapples, Nightmare, Void, Time Space, and Bottomless. This is just proxy for another Time Space. I'm really just playing double Time Space. That's really good against everything. Void Trapple, I wasn't originally playing this, and then kind of Monarchs were really a thing, so yeah, like a lot of these aren't very good against Monarchs, but this one's okay. And then this one's pretty bad. Bottomless is still pretty good, and then Traptrix Trapple Nightmare is pretty bad too. But it stops Kurez. Either way, like these 4 are not very good against, or other than Bottomless, are not very good against Monarchs. But realistically, you don't want to really be playing Trapple for Monarchs, so I think you're good. And then finally, Solemn Warning. You know, guys, 1 second. I gotta look through my binder to find that Stardust. Do I have one in my binder? So professional, guys. Okay. Who forgets to put Stardust in an extra deck? So we're playing 1 Stardust, obviously. Why would you not play Stardust? I don't know. This card's like subpar because it's not super. The only like deck it was really that great against was like Draco Pals, and that's not really a deck anymore. So I don't know how I feel about this card. Realistically, like it's still a card. It's still decent, but at the same time, like you literally use it just to summon it off. You're not gonna really get any extra value out of that. Unless you're playing against Cosmo, and even then, you're probably not going to get any extra value with it. Norden. This guy. Actually, this guy's not supposed to be in here. That's too many cards. No, he is supposed to be in there. Never mind. Yeah, I was only playing 14 cards. I meant to get that started earlier. But either way, Fortress. I made him because there's no room in the side deck. Zen Mains. It's still there. It's a machine, so it's good with the rivalry. And then Grand Pulse. Grand Pulse is just to like pop scales. It's 2800 defense, so that's also pretty useful. Moving on to the rank 4s, we play Double Dweller. Like there's no point in not playing 2 Emerald. I used to like say this card wasn't super needed, but I still think like it's not super needed. But I think it's still just a good card to have. I bought it I pulled it from a Gold Series, so I guess it's okay for me. I'll play it though now that I have it. Dyandar, pretty good. Castel, also pretty good. Dark Rebellion. This card is like literally just to out Majesties and Monarchs, because like you have ways to out it. So might as well play this card to out it. So, and then we play 3 Geargia, same as always, and then the 1 Utopic Future for that deck. What is it called? There's a lot of cool things you can do with this, but mainly it's really good against Cosmo. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. But then what else I can do is like it's really cool because you can make this card against PK Fire, and then you can steal their F-Zero if possible, and then you like switch F-Zeros, and then that's pretty cool. And then also what you can do is you can like steal their Dantes, and then you can use their Dantes to mill. Or no, you can't actually do that. Sorry. Normally you just kind of steal their Dantes and then like, or no, you steal their Break Swords and crash them into stuff. That's what I normally do. I don't know why I don't have an analogy for that, but either way, it's like I think you need this card this format. Like, I don't know. I just picked one up, but I feel like you kind of need this card this format. It's not even like, I don't know. As you probably noticed, I cut on Arc. I don't think that card is even worth being like. It's not even better than Dark Rebellion, and we're just playing this guide so you can out Majesties or sorry, Vanities. No, yeah, Majesties. So I'm just gonna check if I had the right amount of cards in the. Yeah, I know. Sorry for that noob out, guys. Forgot the Stardust. But anyways, moving into the side deck. The side deck's kind of weird. That's just because like I side pretty weirdly. But either way, let's get into the side deck. So we're playing Double Augur. So we side the Augur because we side with it. These 4. So essentially, when you side in the rivalry, you want to side out the Murmello and one Murmello, 1 Dionia, so that you can put in Double Augur and then these 4. So that sometimes you even side all of them, so that you can like stun other decks. Like normally you play all these against Monarchs. Cyber Dragon for the Cosmo matchup, obviously really good. A lot of them you can just summon this and then attack into one of their pilots, and if they don't tag out for like Dark Destroyer, their pilot dies, so that's really good. And then you can like call the Haunted back your Cyber Dragon to keep playing. And then we side like a couple of Gradles. I just side these so that you can out Domain. Either you want to do that with it, or you could side it in against decks that have problematic monsters. or other decks. Like I don't know, it's just a generic engine if you ever need to side it in. It's just 5 cards. Normally it's just like most of the cards in the deck are not very good. You can just side these in, and they're pretty good for adding stuff. And then finally, just do Imperial. I don't know, we kind of went overkill on the Cosmo, but we kind of need to kill Cosmo. Because, like, the predominant meta decks on my locals right now are, like, Monarchs and Cosmo. So I need to kill Monarchs and Cosmo. So, realistically, we're playing the Double Imperial to kill those decks. But yeah. If you really want to play the Honor Arc, you can. I just don't feel it's necessary. But either way, I think everything is pretty good. There's a couple of questionable picks, like Shadow Imprisoning in main. But I feel like everything is like just so that you can beat the meta. Because this deck does like struggle with big monsters, and you need to out big monsters. Like, this deck's worst matchup back in the day was Clifford, because Clifford would spam out like 2400 beaters, and then you couldn't kill him, which was a huge problem. At least with Monarchs, like, yes, they have recurring monsters, but at the same time, you can deal with, like, monsters one at a time, or monsters that aren't literally pendulum summoned out. So, because if you Fiendish Chain, like, a Clifford, you're like, yeah, you're literally asking to lose. But if you Fiendish Chain a Monarch, you can set them behind one turn, where Mirror Forcing a Clifford would really suck, or, like, Mirror Forcing a Monarch is not bad. Like, realistically, you're getting somewhere where Mirror Forcing a Clifford is really bad. So, yeah. So at the same time, I don't know. I feel like this deck is like worth trying. I didn't test this for too much. I guess DN's back, so you can test that. Check out Mega Capital G's video for that. Link in description. You know what? I'll just link the new thing, and then or the new server. But it's essentially DN. It works with your account. It's just like a server with pictures that is operated outside of the main game. It's pretty cool. It's I don't know all the statistics and the lawsuit behind it. But it's how Dev Pro and Yugioh Pro do their system. But yeah, this has been the deck profile. Tell me what you think about the Hearthstone series. I think that's going to keep going regardless that DN is not down. But I don't know. Either way, thank you all for watching. And yeah, this is F-Zero signing out. I'm just kidding. It's the Phantom Armor signing out. And see all you guys next time. Yeah, English.